All right, we're going to go ahead and let Andrew ask a couple of questions from the audience real quick. Really appreciate the time so far, bud.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Everything so far, man. I mean, every time you speak, it's like, it's always gold. So we sincerely appreciate your time. Real quick, I'm going to just spotlight Matthew's video because I thought for sure Mark was here, but apparently, you know, I guess it's not smelly. Yeah. Okay. Now I got to figure out how to not spotlight. There we go. All right, cool. It got a little scary. Sorry, Matthew. But Matthew's asking about meal timing regarding workouts, before or after, and do you prioritize protein, carbs, and fat around those? And which ones would you have first if you did have to, put one in front of the other?
To the research. Well, what the International Society of Sports Nutrition suggests is that you get about 40 grams of protein at least 4 times a day, and that's going to be dependent upon your body weight. I like to prescribe about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, divided evenly between at least 4 meals a day. If you're a large calorie consumer, you might need 5 meals just to be able to consume that much. Or if you're only on a 1,500 calorie diet, if you're a small woman, then probably only 3 meals. But so get at least 40 grams of protein 4 times a day is a good protein consumption for performance, but 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Eat a meal about 2 hours or so before a workout. That's going to depend on the pace at which that you digest, so that if it's an arm day, you can probably eat closer. If it's leg day, you might have to eat a little further. It just depends on your comfort level for how much hard work you're going to have to do that day. And that would just be 40 grams of protein. You would want to focus on putting about 60% of your daily carbs before and after your workout. So that meal before your workout would be a little higher in carbohydrates. Typically, I like an easy to digest carbohydrate like white rice. I eat fruit daily, and I would prefer that over some harder to digest carbohydrate like a grain or a legume or something like that. And then immediately post-workout, I like the benefit of taking in some simple carbohydrates, particularly if you're training twice a day. It's definitely a significant performance enhancer for the second workout. If you can consume a blend of 2 sugars, dextrose and fructose is the one I recommend. Dr. Stasha Gomenak at the Heat Institute has dextrose and maltodextrin in her Levelin product that she recommends, along with sodium post-workout. So I think that encompasses it. And even if you don't take the carbs in immediately post-workout, I still like to eat a meal within an hour. I know the research says there's no anabolic window. I get it. But there's certainly no harm in it. And we do like to get protein feedings about every 4 hours on the outside. There's no mechanism in the body to store protein. And so it's ideal to get protein about every 4 hours throughout the day.
Awesome. And then from the live chat, I'm going to highlight Dana. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Diana, who I think is the first female to be on one of these webinars. So Dana, you get to be our first lady. She's asking a question about kind of quote like plateauing. So she hit her goal of I'm assuming like a weight goal and an exercise goal. So she was able to accomplish something fairly quickly, but then she's finding herself being more stagnant now. Even though she's still following her diet, her exercises, she's still hitting it hard, but the numbers she's hitting in the gym aren't going up as fast as she would like. And then her diet goal seems like she's, like I said, stagnant. So how do you kind of break out of that plateau? She got there and now she wants to improve even more, but it's not happening the way it did initially.
Yeah, patience and persistence. There's always, progress is never linear, whether it's weight loss or strength gain and muscle gain. And so you will go through periods of plateaus. There's some good evidence now that suggests that you could do diet breaks whereby you go back to maintenance calories for a couple of weeks and then go back to a deficit if fat loss is your goal. It's pretty hard to gain muscle at a calorie deficit. So you may need to start periodizing your cycles of muscle gain and fat loss. Go on a small calorie surplus for 4 to 6 weeks while you lift include more volume and frequency in your weight training so that you can add a little bit of muscle. It's not impossible to gain muscle in a deficit, but it's a lot less likely, and particularly for people who have already lost some fat and have already been training. That for the long term, it's more difficult, a lot more difficult. So I would recommend little mini blocks of a muscle gaining block where you increase your calories to about 300 over maintenance. We like to see those in carbs. They're actually harder to convert to fat. They're more, they contribute more to performance in the gym and for recovery. So add back in a little bit of carbs, increase your volume and frequency of your training, add some muscle, and then turn right around and diet again. And your body will be more likely to allow you to lose a little bit of fat that it might be holding on to. So don't do continuous dieting because I think that you're going to need to be able to keep adding muscle and losing fat by optimizing your calories and your training throughout both of those different blocks.
And when you say like a diet break, I mean, people love, it's bulk season, like I'm going to gain all kinds of weight, and then, they want to go way off the plan. How long should somebody, be on this break?
There's a few theories. It seems that you need at least 2 days. Like if you're going to diet for 5 days, let's say your maintenance calories are 2,000 calories a day. So you go to 1,500 calories a day Monday through Friday, and you go to 2,000 calories on Saturday and Sunday. So you go to maintenance calories. It's not a diet break, free for all you can eat party. You just don't maintain a deficit. That's one way. Or you can diet at a deficit for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then take a full week of maintenance calories. That's the recommendation for diet breaks for weight loss. I proposed a second option, which is to go to a slight surplus and do hypertrophy training for 4 to 6 weeks, then go to a deficit to do fat loss for 4 to 6 weeks. It's always important to lift weights while you're training, but you can retain lean body mass with a little heavier training, with a little less frequency in a calorie deficit, and you can maintain and gain strength in a deficit. But it's really hard to add muscle in a deficit, particularly for someone who's already been dieting and training.
Got it. Powerlifters and strongman competitors love the vertical diet. They love being able to get in those calories without feeling gross. But Mark Williams is asking, can we use the vertical diet and expect to lose body fat and recompose ourselves for those of us that are carrying around 20% or more body fat?
Absolutely. Losing body fat is a matter of maintaining a calorie deficit. And it's not as simple as calories in, calories out, because there's many components that affect that, like non-exercise activity, exercise activity, hormones affect that, hunger, all those things. But you need to maintain a deficit. I talked about the guru diet, the egg whites, broccoli, and tilapia. If you have the same number of calories in an egg white and broccoli diet as you do in a steak and eggs diet, you're going to lose weight. There's no difference between the two, but one will cause you to be more hungry, to manifest micronutrient deficiencies, to be tired. It's a lot less sustainable to use an over-restrictive, a micronutrient-restrictive diet like the guru diet. So yes, you can lose weight. We have thousands of female clients all over the world that aren't competitive, that are just soccer moms that love the diet because they have more energy and they're not as hungry because it's whole foods that are loaded with iron and B12 and zinc and choline and all the things that you need to have energy.
Cool. And then we'll end with this one. This one's from Rob. Is the vertical diet the best for people over the age of 55? It seems like it would help with immune system and consistent weight and training.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge age difference. I'm actually working on a book for kids that has, it talks about the same thing, getting adequate protein, having, sufficient micronutrients in the diet, a variety of foods for protein sources, such as some red meat, some whole eggs, some Greek yogurt, certainly fruits and vegetables that are all in there, low gas. one of the big things for people as they age, two biggest things that they come to me about, people that are my age group or above, is one is digestion. They have tended over the years to your hydrochloric acid actually decreases as you age, and it makes it harder for you to digest and assimilate nutrients, break down proteins, and absorb minerals. And so, we try and make sure we focus on them using some strategies to improve that. Acid reflux is common with people as they age, and I have a whole chapter on that in the book as well, how to prevent that. Blood pressure seems to rise as people age, and so I have a blood pressure quick fix kit where I focus on things like getting adequate potassium and magnesium, and doing the 10-minute walks after meals to lower the area under the curve for blood sugars and insulin, which has a dramatic effect on blood pressure, and of course the CPAP for apnea. And then getting more protein is important for people as they age. They tend to assimilate protein more poorly than a younger individual. So you actually have to get a little more protein, at least 40 grams per meal, at least a gram of protein per pound of body weight, in order to maintain lean body mass, because as we age, we start to experience sarcopenia, a loss of muscle tissue. It gets harder and harder to hold on to. So you have to be more deliberate about fueling it and feeding it, and then also training it so that you can hold on to it.
Cool. We're all good. Thank you, everybody that submitted questions beforehand. And then again, anybody that used the live chat function to kind of sneak in a question there. So thank you again for everybody. Thank you, Stan, for answering all those questions. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Oh, hey, I got one question for you. This is really important. I have to know if we had more people attending our talk today than Eddie Combs. We're very competitive.
You won.
Yes. I'll tell Eddie immediately.
and again, we had our first female viewer, so I think she counts for like 10 or something. That's welcome to the sausage party, right?
Yeah, I am kind of a looker. People know me in the industry. Me and Mike O'Hearn, we're cover models.
Exactly. It's the hair. It's always the hair, brother.
Yep, that's one.
Well, hey, Stan, thanks so much for your time, brother. It's always, a pleasure to talk to you. You always spit great knowledge, and, hopefully everyone was able to walk away with, some lightning bolts to help themselves or to help some other people. Let everybody know where we can get you. Are we going back out on tour? What are we doing? How can people get more of Stan Efferding?
Yeah, everything's at Stan Efferding. My website, stanefferding.com, Instagram at Stan Efferding, my YouTube, Stan Efferding, lots of rants on there, a lot of free content for people to get. I don't have another plan for a big tour. I'm still resting on that one. And I think that once the whole COVID thing lifts and people are all back to normal, then I'll start another, I'll start more seminars and let people know.
Awesome. Well, again, everybody, tell everybody about, what you learned here today, what you enjoyed, make sure everyone, who doesn't somehow know who Stan Efferding is, let them know. Appreciate everybody for being here, and especially Stan, again, thank you so much. We love you, bud. And it's always a pleasure, and it's always an honor to chat with you, man. We will see you guys soon. That's it from markbell.com. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.